All right, there you go. They call him Johnny Footballs. We welcome back Ari Fleischer, former press secretary for George W. Bush and president of Fleisher Sports. I guess the talk today is that he kept ESPN's ratings way, way up because everybody stayed tuned waiting to see who would take him. Finally, the Browns took him. You're in the business of getting the good PR out for athletes and advising them on how to handle themselves, etc. What would you tell Johnny Football here going into the dog pound?
To complete his passes. Football, he's a wild card in a fabulous sport. And the history of the NFL is there's no telling who really is hot and who's not. The history is full of top-round picks who washed out and full of middle-ranking and bottom-ranking picks who rose to the top and became the best players in the NFL.
Taking Kenny O'Brien over Dan Marino, New York Jets.
Yeah, Dan Marino's exactly right. Perfect case. So we'll just have to see what Johnny Manziel's got. And, that's why people love the NFL, though. It's just such a riveting, exciting sport to watch. And, no matter what you think of his personality or his off-field antics, he's an exciting player to watch. We'll see if he can complete some passes.
Right, that's the key. Now, I don't know. I don't know about what the state of season tickets are in Cleveland, but I've just got tweeted by my friend Jared Max that they already sold 1,500 season tickets in Cleveland. And I heard someone call up one of the sports shows on my way in today saying that if you look around the stadium in Cleveland, people wear jerseys, but they're all with retired numbers, players that don't play anymore. I'll bet you there's going to be a lot of whatever number he gets, a lot of Johnny numbers on the backs of people. I think his jersey is going to be a huge seller, at least in Cleveland, certainly.
Yeah, poor Cleveland. They've got a sports complex. So they need a little boost of excitement over there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, now let's address this NBA issue with Donald Sterling. What's starting to get on my nerves a little bit here is hearing all these so-called experts come on the panels, and in my mind, a lot of them have an axe to grind. Cedric Maxwell was great on CNN yesterday. He was the straightest shooter of all. But now they're saying, oh well, if Sterling, it won't fly. If Sterling's wife, she can't own this team. She can't keep her part of the team. That's the same as him, and it's guilt by association. And now I think it's going a little too far. What's your take on all this?
Yeah, right from the start, I supported what Adam did in terms of the lifetime ban, in terms of the maximum fine that was allowable. All of that I support. NBA is an organization that you voluntarily belong as an owner, and they have every right under their rules and American law to throw you out if they don't want you in their club. What I drew the line at right from the start was I don't care what size moron you are, and he's a pretty extra-large moron. Nobody in America has the right to be compelled to sell their private property because they offended somebody else. And it is his private property. Now, he doesn't have to be able to go to NBA meetings. He may not participate in NBA deliberations. He can be thrown out of the club. But I'm uncomfortable with basically the seizure of somebody's personal private property rights because we don't like their opinions. That's where I would have drawn the line.
Yeah, and you hear that the players will boycott. The players will. You know what? The players had a chance to boycott, and look, no disrespect to the players, who I'm sure are ticked off, and I would be too. But are these players really going to give up their contracts, their multi-million-dollar contracts?
But frankly, if they did boycott, that'd be fine with me. Let marketplaces settle ownership issues. And if you have a product and all of a sudden your workers go on strike, well, that's going to affect the value of your product. It's going to affect your decisions as an owner. Or maybe you just decide, I'm going to sell the team because I don't want the headache, or sell the company or the business. That's a legitimate part of a marketplace activity. What to me is not legitimate is compelling a person to sell property, to sell a club that they own the rights to. We have due process in this country, and I just don't think people can be compelled to sell something that is legitimately their property.
Well, it's going to be interesting.
Even if they're a moron.
Yeah, and you said he's a super-sized moron. But the fact of the matter is, he has a lot of spunk in him from the standpoint of he's not going to take this sitting down. He's going to go to court. He's litigious. He's a lawyer. Right. He says they can't make me sell, and this could go on for years and years and years. So it's going to be interesting.
If I think that about him, I certainly think it about his wife.
Yeah.
What does she do wrong? Does she lose her private
and
property rights?
I just saw a guy on CNN, an expert, talking about, no. She can't be involved. She has to sell too. Who are you? But real quick, Bill Maher, is a minority owner of the Mets. And he has said he's used the C word to talk about, Republican women.
Yep.
And nobody gives a what.
Well, you're on the hypocrisy issue, and I would only hope that it would exist in fairness toward one side, would exist in fairness toward the other side.
But better than me, it doesn't.
Mainstream media doesn't chase it that way.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
mainstream media will paint it as terrible and evil, which sometimes it is, if it's in one direction. But then they should do it in both directions.
Yeah. Ari, great to talk to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, Ari Fleischer, ladies and gentlemen, former G.W. Bush press secretary, of course, and the president of Fleisher Sports. It's just crazy because it's just going too far. It really is going too far. In this court case, and now, what I really laugh at? You get like Judge Hatchett and people like that who think they know everything in the NBA Constitution, which is really a pretty private document. Oh, under their Constitution, they could make them do this, and they could kick them out. I'm like, how do you know? When did you study the NBA Constitution? It's really becoming a parody of itself almost. All right, folks, we are coming back right here on the Steve Malzberg Show on Newsmax Television.